Okay, hi guys, how you doing? I want to do this real quick introduction to Module 6. We're rolling right along here, folks. I mean, we're really getting into the meat of things. I think Module 5, there was a couple of things that did really, everyone was very engaged, and I think that's awesome. There's a couple of things I want to talk about in week 5 before we jump into week 6. So let's just go over to week 5 here. I want to take a quick look at some things. We talked about the shift of the European design movement in ways that and those styles were applied in the United States for commercial use. That is critical for commercial use. Okay, one of the main things that's happening here is that the Europeans developed these styles, and these styles were in response to different social and cultural happenings, specifically wars and things like that. Economies after wars, things like that. So there's these direct reactions to these world happenings. Whereas in the United States, I want you to understand that when these movements came to the United States, they weren't a continuation of these social and cultural statements that the Europeans were making when developing these movements. The Americans used them for advertising. Okay, so we jump right into capitalism with these European styles. That's a critical point of understanding moving forward from this class. I think a lot of students didn't make that connection in our discussion board. I'm sorry, not our discussion board, our journal, Commercial Modern Design. I think a lot of students ended up just giving examples of continuing examples of Art Deco, which could have been continued from our discussions of 2 and 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I want you to really understand it. Right now, we're completely switching gears. When we talk about United States, we really have to understand, and in a nutshell, that we're talking about a real shift in the utilitarian purposes of these movements in order to develop an advertising style using these movements and these styles. Really critical thing right there. It's a really critical distinction to make between the United States and Europe. Okay, let's go back to week 6 then. Okay, module 6, and let's jump in here. Module 6 is a really good module. I just want to spend a second here. I mean, I've got my announcement up, guys, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll go through the announcement first. Okay, during Module 5, we looked at the styles associated with European design movements were applied to the United States for commercial use. Okay, it's important to distinguish that we are looking at these styles as they pertain to commercial use. Okay, so there I highlighted it again. Now we want to talk about a couple of things in United States application of European art movements in advertising. And the first thing I want to mention is that the American styles that were really channeled in advertising during this era were mostly Art Deco and Constructivist. We can see it right here. Constructivist, Art Deco. These are both ads. Note, they're both advertisements, okay? So one of the things that we're going to study in Module 6 is building on the application of design to commercial advertising that we discovered in Module 5. But we specifically identify corporate identity and branding. Now, we all know what corporate identity and branding is because we've taken classes, right? If you haven't, you will. But it's a basic underpinning of graphic design is corporate identity and branding. I would assume that all designers at some point in their career will have a chance to interact with a project that features corporate identity and branding. So by studying the origins of corporate identity and branding as they pertain to American graphics, as a result of these movements moving across the ocean to America to be used, well, not to be used, but subsequently used for advertising. Two things that are really critical when we talk about the development and the further cultivation of American design after World War II. Two critical elements that really shaped the landscape. Number one is the immigration of prominent European designers to the U.S. during and after World War II. Literally hundreds of cutting-edge European modernists left Europe for the United States for safer environment or for whatever reasons the war may have driven them out of Europe. The point is they emigrated to the United States and really helped shape the future of American graphics. Again, one more time, hundreds of cutting-edge European modernists moved to the United States during and after World War II for reasons of safety and other political reasons, resulting in a tremendous influx of new styles and tremendous new talent into the American design pool. The next thing is the nature of global expansion of American companies, and that especially happened right after World War, but especially right after World War II. Next thing you know, American companies are finding themselves on a global stage and need to represent themselves in a way that international and bicultural audiences will understand their message. Okay, so that's where we get into American corporate graphics. I've got a lot of Paul Rand up here because he was pretty much understood that what the objectivity behind corporate identity. And here are some really great examples. You'll read about Paul Rand. If you don't, do so on your own. If you don't get what you need out of the book, where I haven't left, I really didn't leave any links here. I probably should link out to to Paul Rand's site. I think I'll do that. I'm going to make a note of that right now. And I will do that. Give you guys a site to look at so you can kind of take these and understand really understand the posture behind the conceptual makeup of these logos. Again, they're international companies. They're moving to this international stage. So objectivity in representing themselves has got to be paramount. You can't have companies in Brussels looking at your American logo going, what is that? You have to be able to present the work like this. ABC or Cummins says, boom, that's it. It's objective. It tells what it is. It's designed with a grid. Excuse me. It's mathematically harmonious, and it works. Okay? So keep those in mind. And we have this week's Plan at a Glance. I've got this week the assigned textbook reading. I've also linked out here for you guys for convenience. You guys can read those. Great articles, guys. Fantastic article. I want to show you something real quick. This is a good article. Oh, I think my computer's going to be playing. Oh, no, it's not. Here it goes. Okay. Great article. Print Magazine. Fantastic article. Not crazy about a lot of the contemporary although this will give you a good contemporary look. This was a project that a designer did. I can't remember his name, Mike Joyce. And he designed a bunch of contemporary bands. Well, I shouldn't say contemporary. A lot of these were from the 90s and even earlier. But he designed a lot of album covers using the Swiss style. Okay, and why do I mention Swiss style? Because we're talking about principles of typeface and designers, principles, the typeface and the designers of Swiss style, which is part of this reading here. Swiss style immediately, the Americans immediately adopted Swiss style in their American corporate branding. So that's a great place to start. Corporate identity and branding, and then of course the Volkswagen Think Small ads, which is some of the greatest advertising campaigns in history. So be sure to read that and read of the reasons why. Okay, that's what I have, folks. Okay, everyone's doing great in discussion board. I think that we do have a discussion board this week, so I think that I'd like you guys to start asking I'm asking all the questions I find. I want you guys to ask each other questions, ask for clarification. That way I don't have to keep on asking questions of every single student. I know you guys get sick of it. I know that sometimes I run out of questions, but I always manage to get them out. But I'd like your guys' help this week. I'd like you guys to start asking each other questions of your posts. Ask for clarification, ask for verification. All right? And as far as that goes, that's what I have for our week 6. Welcome to week 6. Everyone's doing phenomenal. If you guys have any questions or comments whatsoever, let me know. A lot of students have been jumping in email with questions regarding, I want to jump down here real quick. Just a reminder, final project is due next week, guys. This is it. I'll be looking at your milestone too. Today's Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll get those all graded, give you plenty of time to get your finals back in. But the thing is that you really got to start looking at that final project. I think that That's really important. Here's the rubric right here for you, so you can take a look at that. Oh, I'm over 10 minutes. Thought I'd cut it short. I thought I'd make it under 10, but sorry for being such a windbag, guys. Anyways, that's what I got. As I was saying, a few students have been emailing me questions about their final thesis, etc. And listen, guys, I love emails. I address each one individually. I really take my time. I try to point you to different resources, etc. But on the same breath, I want to say, use the discussion board general questions forum, guys. Please do. It's not that I don't like getting emails. I do, but this is a resource that's available to everyone. So if you have a question about the final project, for example, there's a really good chance that a couple of your classmates might have the same question. So it would only make sense to leave it here in general questions so that everybody can benefit from the response. Okay, that's what I got, guys. Thanks very much. Welcome to week 6. Any questions, comments, concerns, or other, I'm right here. All right, great. See you guys this week.